this webinar. It's a very smart plan. I'm not sure why I never thought of it, but it works. I witnessed it working last night. It was crazy. Crazy night. Participants 24. I'm going to let it get up to like 30 because we were at 40 something, right? Let's get up to like 30. While we're sitting here, what are your guys' goals for next week? I know this week was full of a lot of experimenting for me, so I wasn't able to meet a lot of goals. But what are your goals? What profit goals or consistency goals do you want to reach for next week? You can just type it in the Zoom chat if you want. 500, that's good. 10 trades in a row, second buy trade. Yeah, that's good control. $100, 100 into 500, that's good. But what you should all be saying is you want to turn $1 into $100 because that's what Chris is about to teach you how to do. And you can obviously do the math for the potential on that. That's 10,000% ROI. 1 to 100. Hello. There you go. 1 to 100. You'll be able to make minimum 5K a week, Curtis. I've seen you make 3K, 1.5K. 5K is right there for you. Up to 27 people, 28 people. Once we're up to 30, I'm going to start. I'm going to unmute Chris so that he can unleash this knowledge on you. Yep, it would. $29 people. For those of you just coming in, we're writing our weekly goals in the chat if you feel the need to divulge that. Awesome. Okay. 30. Perfect. Okay. All of you guys be ready to take notes or commit this to memory or whatever. It's still being recorded. Let me make sure that my camera guy is in here. Okay, Kelly, you're in here. Good. All right. I'm going to hand you guys over to Chris really quick. Hey, Chris, can you talk? Can you hear me?
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Hey, great. Hey, happy. I hope everybody's doing well and you like that the moving averages addition to our spider. That certainly is a great addition. So, and Cody, do you have that picture to post up on the page here? Okay.
Yep. After this webinar, I will be posting the picture of the compound for everybody to see. It'll be in the Academy group.
Can you put it on your screen now?
I cannot. What? Actually, you know what? I can probably go to Facebook messages and then screen share that.
Okay. I just sent it to you again, so you should be able to refer back to that. Well, okay. For everybody here, and I know that you're not returning any voice to me, so I'll just assume that you can all hear me very well. This all came from a process by which, and there it is on your screen, a process by which I utilized in my past, and it was meant to establish some confidence with whatever you were doing, and at the same time not hemorrhage your bank or totally drain your bank. And this type of a method actually is what many wealthy people use in order to not drain their banks and gain wealth. So if you take a look at this, it's a 16. There's 16 trades in which you're looking for. In a perfect scenario, you're getting 16 in a row. However, that's probably not going to happen, but it may. I've gotten 27 in a row, especially with the spider method and the new additions with the moving averages, which I put up there. It allowed me to really focus in on getting the correct trades as opposed to, okay, I don't know where this is going to go. Well, now I have a better idea. So in the first phase, if you take a look, it's meant to, and it's right in the words right there, meant to establish, I can't read it from there. My own words, I don't remember it. What it's meant to is establish your knowledge and confidence of the method. You could apply this to anything you want. However, it's meant to establish your knowledge and confidence of the spider method. If you're not winning your trades in this phase, you need to stop. Talk with Cody, talk with myself. Just get in touch with somebody from, in the system, and they'll help you to understand what you may what you may be doing wrong in the spider method. You should be getting many in a row, more wins than losses, a lot more wins than losses, or you're not doing spider correctly. So if you take a look at the way this works, let's just say you had $100 in the bank, okay? This says you have one. Let's just say you had $100. The idea behind this, or the mindset, is that $100 is in the bank. You don't want to use that money. You want to use as little as possible of that money. You want it returned back there. You want your bank to be solid and stable. You never want it to change, other than a small piece you need to get started. And that way you're not dipping deep into what you need to get started again if you have to. So now you have $1 in the bank. You bet that, you have $100 in your bank, and it says here that your bank is $1. Well, you took $1 from your $100. You risked $1. Your return is 70 cents. And that brings your bank to $1.70 with that dollar you borrowed from your own bank. Second and third are the same way. You're using that same dollar, taking a dollar trade, and adding up. Now, at the end of, what is it, step number 3, I guess it is. I should take a look at it this way. At the end of step number 3, you now have $3.10 along with the dollar that you started with. So you have $3.10 that you're using right now. The next phase, or the next step, is to step it up to $2. So now you're risking $2. You get $1.40 return. We all know these numbers. And at the next point, you got $4.50 in your bank now. And 5 is you have $5.90, and 6 you have $7.30. All those being $2. The next 2 are $3. It's still meant to even establish a little bit more that you know that you have a good, solid standing with Spider, or with your method, whichever method you're using. Spider is what I use. There's no change in that. But so it's $3 at that point. At this point, your bank is now $11.50. What you do is you take that dollar back. So let's just say you started with $1. Let's say you started with $10. You're generous because you have $1,000 in your account. You want to start with 10. You want to start with 20. You want to start with 50. Whatever you want to start with, you return that at this point. So now your account goes down to $10.50. What you're doing is you're putting your money back in your bank. Now all you're doing is you're working with the profit that you gained through these steps, these last 8 steps. Now you start to have some fun. And the $5, it represents half of the $10, if you will. You still have $5 in your account at that point. So you take the $5, you trade that, you get a $3.50 return. You're now up to $14. Half of that is 7. You trade that. Now you're at $4.90 that went in there. You're at $18.90. And then again, 25, you go down to 24, and okay, what did I do here? 18, I mean. You go down to 18. I always step backwards. Try not to step forward, because you're digging deeper into the part that you're trying to keep. I call this you're having a lot of fun, but your risk is never more than half of what you have already gained. I put that note right in there for you to understand that. So your mindset is, wow, I gained this, and I'm only risking half of what I gained. Okay, so I'm going to go down to step number 14 right now. And let's just say a hiccup, whatever, we still haven't gotten it to 100%. We're hoping to get it there soon, but we certainly have it somewhere over 95% with every spider. So if you're something over 95%, you still have that point where you're going to lose one somewhere. Let's just say we lost it on number 14. So now you took $22 from the 60, and now you're down to what? I guess it would be 50, 40, it'd be 38.
No, it would be $22 from the 44, wouldn't it? Because that was your last balance up here.
22 to 44. You're exactly right.
Perfect.
So it'd be, thank you. Thanks for correcting that. So you took 22 from 44. You're at 22 in your bank. Now, you choose how you want to risk this. I would go back to the 18 at that point, which is step 10, and then start stepping back through this. But if you take a look at this, at the end of this, you went from $1 to $109 in 16 steps. Okay? Let's handle one other possible question. Please hold your questions. I can't hear them anyway. I got stupid jokes. Anyway, let's say that you had a problem at number 9, and your risk was 10.50. You took your bank to half. Look at where it takes you. It takes you back to the beginning of the $2 trades at that point. So you step back through your $2 and your $3 ones and bring yourself back to the point to where now you have your things are set up again. Last little note here before I open the door for questions. I even took the time to explain it. So if you take a step back to number 14, is that right? Number 14 to, I took it from 14 to 12. Let's see, 12.33. That's actually a little bit aggressive. You can step back on your aggressive just by taking one more step backwards. But the point that I was trying to get at is in your risk. You can change that $1 to $2. Unbelievable. It's only going to take 2 steps or 2 trades out of this. You're at number 14 at that point, and you would be over $100 by doing a $2 trade at the start. So start with $1. Get accustomed to this thing. If you're really looking to step it up and after you finally establish something, you doubled your bank, go to $2, or even there's another table on which we're going to release eventually, which is a little more, if you stepped through the 1, 2s, and 3s and you have established that you've got good knowledge and good confidence, we're going to show you another method in the near future, which actually cuts out some of the front end of this. And with that, Cody, if you could open up for questions, that would be cool.
Yeah, absolutely. I wanted to touch up on one point. So when you guys are doing this, obviously you're only risking $1 out of your bank, and that's what the bank is loaning you. Like he said, once you get past this section, you're returning that $1, so your bank remains solid. Remember what I said, he makes that cushion. So he's made $10 that is not part of your bank because you returned the $1 when you had 11. So you have $10 profit, $10.50 that is not part of your bank at all. Once you're outside of your bank, about $10, you're risking $5. So these are 50%. These are very aggressive, and these are very, you get profit very, very, very quickly because you're risking 50% each time. But you're not risking anything because it's not even touching your bank. This is going straight out of profit. So I just wanted to make that clear to everybody else, because you can be fooled by these little numbers. Don't be fooled. This is 50% each time, but it's only out of your profit and not out of your bank, like I would do. I do 20% out of my bank, but he showed me a way to do 50% out of my profit instead, and it's much more aggressive than mine, but it's also much more safe than mine at the same exact time. Okay,
Cody, in your, I know that we're going to be looking for their questions, but in your system, it was more steps to get to the 100, wasn't it?
Yep. Yeah, it was.
So you're doing less steps. It's safer.
Less steps, definitely. It's safer and more aggressive somehow.
Right.
It's incredible. It's much safer. So
Okay.
the door is open for questions for anybody to ask. Just go ahead and type your questions. Having a simple out. After Chris and I meet a few certain goals, we might fly you out, Curtis, because you're one of the admin, and we might have to go out to dinner very soon. So there's no questions at all. Anybody can type any question, doesn't matter.
Here, I'll ask a question of all of you. Does this make sense to you?
Good.
Recap on 2.0 will come at you in another time, I think.
Yep, I'm actually going to put the last webinar and this webinar on the site. The last one's going to go under Spider 2.0, the additions that you need to go from Spider 1 to Spider 2. And then this webinar is going to go under a video named, I wouldn't call it compound, but maybe money management.
That would be good.
Aggressive money management.
All right. Well, nobody's coming back with any question on this.
Nope.
Okay. So how about this question to all of you? Does this look like something you'll use?
Good.
Hello.
I know some of you were saying that you want to get 5K a week. If you can master this first and the discipline it takes to do this type of a compound when you're sitting at little numbers, this is a 10,000% ROI. So imagine any number that you can going 10,000%. You'll be able to make 5K weeks very soon, like it's breathing for you if you can master this.
Well, good stuff.
Keep
are we good?
Impulsive. Sweet, nice, good. I think we're good. All of you have a great weekend. I'm not trading tonight, but you guys have a great weekend, and we are going to do this next week. And I want to see you guys doing this. Ask me any questions or ask Chris any questions if you have any. Oh yeah, go ahead. Quick question. What time is the best time to trade Spider? Now that it's 2.0, anytime. You can trade it anytime you want to. No problem. Yep, and I've tested this with Mark religiously. I know you guys have been asking me to divulge what 2.0 is, but I didn't want to until I was absolutely sure. Chris and I have taken the trades in 0% liquidity up to like 90% liquidity, and it doesn't make a difference. We're still winning with this.
Let me say a note here, though. One thing that does happen, even at 80%, we've watched the market slow down to a crawl. Yep. We've watched it at 0 and moving crazy, or even slow down at that point. It doesn't matter. That's really the key, is when the market is moving, that's when you're going to find the setups. When the market's not moving, you're not going to find the setups. So literally the market will stall you out or slow you down, as opposed to news or other variables.
Yep, exactly. It's more what the market's going to provide for you than what you're going to get out of it. What happens if we frequently lose a trade within the first 8 steps? Do we reset to the first step? What do you think?
If you take a look, if you lose a lot of trades in that first, it's really meant to slow you down. And in fact, I would suggest take a stop, take a breather, give a look at the videos again. You're not getting something right about Spider. That's really all that's meant to do, is to point it out to you, to give you an understanding that, well, I'm not getting this right. Do I need to talk with Cody? Do I need to look at the videos? Do I need to review my notes? What have you? And it's really meant to just keep you from blowing your bank. I've watched people blow their banks, get all frustrated, and now they're not even thinking about the trade. My focus is never on the money. It's always on getting my trades correct and getting a lot of trades in a row correct. The money will come to you with this type of a management system. If you utilize it, you'll get enough in a row to where you do gain the cash flow, and it will gain real fast once you start stepping through these things. But again, it's meant to stop you or slow you down. So please get a hold of Cody, myself, or whoever else might be taking calls on this stuff.
Yeah, and if some of you are unsure if you have the spider method down, run through this course really quick. Take a day, take 2 days, and run through $1 to 100. And if you can do it, you have it. You have spider method down. And if you can't, then you know what you need to fix. You need to come and ask me and Chris questions, and you need to improve. And that's fine. Realizing your mistakes is the first step into bettering yourself, realizing that you have mistakes. Yep. He said, thanks, Chris. That's helpful. Just took a loss on AUD JPY. How many trades are you averaging a day? I don't know. There was a lot, Chris.
It varies according to how much time you have, really.
It really does. I would say a lot, but then Chris and I sometimes stay up for 12, 15 hours at a time. So it really depends on how much time you put into it.
I've found in a day, really truly good spider, you're finding 2 to 3, even 4 an hour when it's really active. When it's not so active, you might find 1 or 2 an hour. When it stalls out, it might take you 2 hours to find one. But the whole point is if you follow the methodology, you will not fail. As long as you're using this thing the way it is, you won't fail.
Yep.
I don't like losing money. That's why I created it.
Exactly. Yep. My old strategy, while it was aggressive enough, it wasn't quite as aggressive, and it wasn't nearly as safe as what Chris is giving you right now. This makes sure that you're safe before it gets aggressive. And when it gets aggressive, you start making profit at insane rates. It's 35% on your account every single trade. Another way to put it, what are your average winning streaks before you might hit a loss? Like Chris was saying, it's 95 to 98%. So maybe if you're doing it perfectly, maybe out of 20 or 30 trades, you might hit a loss. But you're not going to do it perfectly because you're going to hit emotions, you're going to hit impulses, you're going to hit whatever that's not following the rules. So you might hit a couple more losses than that. But following everything perfectly, expect losses to be very rare. Expect them to be a surprise.
For the fellow who asked about taking a quick look at AJ, real quick, I'm looking at AJ right now, and I would not take a trade anywhere in there because the moving averages are parallel.
There you go.
Does that make sense to you? Who was that? Alex. Oh, yeah, I see it. Okay, great.
Can we all trade together sometime? You know what? if some of you master this,
that'd be fun.
Then that would be fun. So master this first. If you master this, then you'll be up for consideration for group trading with me and Chris. We'll have an all-night trading session together. But master this first.
You're trying to extend your pillow talk with me.
Master this first, and then we'll see.
It curved at the 54 candle. I have no idea what the 54 candle is.
How do you want images to look? Not parallel, but how? So you want them to curve, right? So I'm gonna let you talk while I do this, Chris. So I'm gonna bring up MetaTrader.
Yeah, go ahead. I think I know what happened there. If you take a look at it, it didn't go horizontal, or it didn't. I mean, horizontal. Yeah, it didn't go horizontal. It was still moving upward. It's not until it takes that curvature and it starts moving in a horizontal that you can actually make this work. If that makes any sense to you. Where's he at, the 54 candle? What does that mean?
54 candle is right here. He's talking about this one right here. Okay.
Well,
so
look
what
at Standard
happened-
Spider. Standard
Yeah.
Spider says that doesn't even, it's disqualified. Plus,
Yeah.
also, your moving averages are still parallel. They moved into this. It's not a real curve. It's a slight curve.
Yeah.
And it moved into that with, they were parallel. There's nothing there. There's,
Right.
so
So it's, remember, this is in addition to regular spider. You're still following the normal spider rules. This does not replace what you need to follow. What this does do is it replaces the need to look at news and liquidity. So right here, you see how this candle body was so high, it broke any of these double wicks down here. So up here, you wouldn't even be taking any trades at all in line with normal spider. Actually, even here, you wouldn't even be taking any trades because this was the first sign of resistance. This might have been the first double wick, and you might have drawn a web right there. But the second this one broke through, it ended all of that zone. So you shouldn't have ever taken a trade right there.
I'm glad you asked that because it actually allowed us to give you a good example of how these moving averages, they help to define where a spider much more cleanly. And mind you, these are moving parallel. I'm on another page when I see this. I don't even look for it to turn. I'm looking for it to turn and go down and set up for the next setup. There is nothing there.
Yeah, exactly.
So I'm not trying to beat up on you, just trying to say how I see it. So, okay, go ahead.
Yep.
Sorry.
Are there any other questions at all? We good to go?
Sounds like it, huh?
Okay. So these videos will be posted on the site and you will be getting your back offices very soon. I just have to upload these videos for the developer and he's going to upload these to the site and then we'll continue from there. And once the site is ready to go, I'm going to post a link for you guys so you guys can see it. And then after that, I'm going to have a post that's going to ask for some details from you guys, like your email address, so that I can set you guys up with logins so you can access the back office.
Sounds great.
Which other non-members cannot do. Yeah, Mark has been a great help. These indicators that he's putting out makes it a lot easier to do. So when he puts out these indicators and when he says it's $20 a month, honestly, I think that's way too low. But you know, I really recommend getting him if he wants to be that generous. That's insane, because these are going to get you up to days that you've never.
Mark is correcting you. Say it's not $20.
Okay, perfect.
Okay. All right. It's 10. Dude, you can't do that. I need to talk with you.
No, Phil had said that. That's funny.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, someone said it was 10. Funny.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. You guys have a great rest of your day. And I'm
hey, thanks a lot. And Cody, make it a good one.
Yep, you too, Chris. I'll see you all later.